A dramatic claim recently spread online, catching the attention of millions across the country and sparking heated debates on social media platforms. According to these viral posts, Ford, an iconic American automaker with over a century of history, had supposedly halted all U.S. production overnight. The rumor gained even more traction when it was amplified by a supposed response from former President Trump, who weighed in on the situation, suggesting a catastrophic blow to American manufacturing and the nation's economic strength. The story struck a nerve, touching on deep-seated fears about job security, the future of American industry, and the stability of local communities. It was a narrative that felt urgent, making it both compelling and highly shareable. If Ford had truly stopped production, the consequences would be enormous, disrupting global supply chains, halting shipments, and sending shockwaves through international markets that rely on American-made vehicles and parts. The rumor spread rapidly because it offered a simple, alarming conclusion to a set of complex economic pressures, making it easy for people to latch onto and share without verifying the facts. In this episode, we will investigate the new trade policies announced by President Trump, which have been at the center of recent debates about American manufacturing. We'll also explore the genuine responses from major automakers, media, logos of Stellantis, General Motors, and Ford side by side, executives from car companies at industry event, including Stellantis, General Motors, and Ford, to understand how they are actually reacting to these policy changes. By correcting misinformation with verified facts and expert analysis, we aim to provide a clear, accurate picture of the situation, cutting through the noise and confusion. In today's fast-paced digital world, understanding the truth is more important than ever, as viral claims can shape public opinion, influence political decisions, and even move financial markets in an instant. We will analyze how trade uncertainty, misinformation, and false narratives impact real people, the workers on the factory floor, the executives making tough decisions, and the public who rely on these industries for their livelihoods. By examining the facts and looking beyond alarmist headlines, we can better understand the nuanced challenges and opportunities facing the auto industry today, and what's truly at stake for America's economic future. This is the real story of what happened, why it matters to all of us, and what we can learn from this moment of uncertainty and misinformation.
The Trump administration announced a significant shift in trade policy, imposing a new 25% tariff on automobiles, including imports from Canada and Mexico. This move created immediate uncertainty for car makers with intricate cross-border supply chains. The reaction from the auto industry was swift but varied. Stellantis, General Motors, and Ford each assessed the tariff's impact and formulated responses. Stellantis took drastic action, which we will explore in detail, while GM focused on bolstering domestic production. Ford, the subject of the viral rumors, focused on market-side solutions rather than immediate production changes. The tariffs created a high-stakes environment where any corporate announcement could signal the future of American jobs and the economy. This atmosphere of high tension and uncertainty allowed misinformation to take root.
Stellantis was the first major automaker to respond decisively to the newly imposed tariffs, making headlines across the industry. The company made the difficult decision to temporarily halt production at two of its most important North American plants, sending shockwaves through the automotive sector. Executives quickly convened to evaluate not only the immediate impact, but also the long-term financial and logistical consequences these tariffs could have on their operations and supply chain. The Windsor plant in Canada, a cornerstone of Stellantis' North American production, paused operations for 2 weeks, leaving workers and local businesses in limbo. Meanwhile, the Toluca plant in Mexico faced an even longer, month-long shutdown, disrupting the lives of employees and their families. This move underscored the serious challenges the tariffs posed to global supply chains, causing delays and uncertainty for suppliers and partners worldwide. Stellantis' decision was a calculated strategic timeout, giving the company a chance to analyze shifting market conditions and renegotiate critical contracts with suppliers. As a result, thousands of employees in both Canada and Mexico were directly affected, facing sudden changes to their work schedules and financial stability. The Canadian Auto Workers Union voiced strong opposition, organizing protests and demanding government intervention to protect jobs. In Mexico, the situation was further complicated by local labor rules and regulations. making negotiations even more challenging for all parties involved. Stellantis entered into complex discussions with government officials and union leaders, working tirelessly to navigate the new and uncertain landscape created by the tariffs. This bold and proactive move sets Stellantis apart from its competitors, GM and Ford, highlighting its willingness to adapt quickly in a rapidly changing industry.
While Stellantis paused production, GM and Ford took different approaches. GM increased production of pickup trucks in Indiana, reducing reliance on Canadian and Mexican plants. Ford focused on the consumer, launching aggressive sales incentives to maintain sales momentum. The contrasting strategies of the Big Three highlight corporate decision-making under pressure. Stellantis' shutdown was defensive, GM's move was strategic, and Ford's focus was market-driven. Each response reflected the company's specific operational structure and strategic priorities. The misinformation about Ford shutting down all US production distorted its actual strategy. The company's market-focused response was twisted into a sensational story of abandonment. This demonstrates how easily a complex reality can be warped into a simple, powerful lie. The false narrative overshadowed the nuanced strategies of the automakers.
In May 2025, a sensational piece of fiction began circulating online, falsely claiming that Ford was ceasing all US production. The story suggested that the iconic automaker would be shutting down its American factories and moving all operations overseas, sparking immediate concern. The rumor spread like wildfire across social media platforms, causing widespread panic among Ford employees, their families, and investors. Many people began to fear for their jobs and financial security, while others worried about the future of American manufacturing. However, a careful review of credible news reporting revealed that no such story existed in any legitimate outlet. The disinformation had actually originated from a handful of YouTube channels that were masquerading as trustworthy news sources, deliberately misleading viewers. Channels like Auto Central and Auto Edge published videos with dramatic clickbait titles designed to grab attention and stir up controversy, even though their claims were entirely baseless. These videos quickly amassed hundreds of thousands of views, demonstrating how a well-packaged lie can easily capture public attention and go viral, especially when emotions are involved. The creators behind these videos were content farmers, exploiting the online ecosystem for profit by spreading sensational misinformation with little regard for the real-world consequences. Fact-checking organizations, including Snopes and other independent groups, quickly investigated the claims. After thorough research, they found no evidence to support the rumor and debunked it publicly. They concluded that the story was entirely false. Ford had made no announcements about shutting down its US plants, and operations continued as normal. The incident quickly became a textbook example of malinformation, fabricated content designed to mislead, manipulate, and cause harm to both individuals and entire industries. While the work of fact-checkers was crucial in setting the record straight, the initial lie had already reached millions, highlighting the ongoing challenge of combating viral misinformation in the digital age.
The Ford shutdown rumor shows the evolution of misinformation, driven by AI's sophistication. The YouTube channels behind the hoax used AI tools to automate the production process. AI-generated scripts filled with fabricated quotes and dramatic assertions. AI-generated voices added authority and believability to the false claims. AI was also used to create visuals, mimicking professional broadcasts. This case demonstrates how AI can scale viral disinformation campaigns. The lack of disclaimers led many to accept the false narrative as fact. The incident raises questions about the ethical responsibilities of tech companies and platforms.
Contrary to rumors, Ford's response to economic uncertainty was measured and transparent. The company never announced plans to close American factories or move production overseas. Ford acknowledged the financial challenges posed by new trade policies. A key action was withdrawing its financial guidance for 2025, an admission of uncertainty. Ford explained that global trade disputes made accurate financial projections impossible. This was a prudent business decision, not a signal of collapse. Ford focused on navigating the trade landscape while maintaining US manufacturing operations. The false rumors misrepresented the company's true position and actions. The reality was one of strategic adaptation and risk management. The gap between rumor and reality highlights how misinformation preys on complexity.
Experts in media literacy and the auto industry provide insight into these challenges. Dr. Evelyn Reed notes that incidents like the Ford rumor are becoming more common. AI-powered tools allow bad actors to create plausible misinformation at scale. Dr. Reed emphasizes the need for robust systems to identify synthetic media. Public education on digital literacy is crucial to combat misinformation.
From an industry perspective, tariffs create genuine problems. David Welch points out that the North American auto industry is highly integrated. Tariffs disrupt this system, impacting workers and regional economies. Companies must manage economic policy changes and combat disinformation. Ford's strategy was to use incentives to keep cars moving, not a total shutdown.